you going to be looking for from him in his first start?
Yeah, Michael on the mound. Happy to have him on the mound. It's always nice when you got a guy like him starting in game 2 after opening day. So Mike's going to throw a bunch of strikes and get through the order, and see what he's got tonight.
You got Campusano catching him tonight. What did you see from him last year in AAA, just in terms of his development coming up to this year?
Yeah, we raked last year in AAA. He was one of the best hitters in AAA. He's basically checked every box he could possibly check in the minor leagues. He's ready for the big leagues. He's had big league time. He's caught me, how long ago that was. So I feel really good, comfortable with Campy back there.
From a maturity standpoint, what have you seen from him since that time when he was catching you?
Yeah, I think he's a lot more confident in his own abilities. He feels very comfortable in his own skin right now. Over this last year has been a big maturation process for him. All credit goes to him. He's done a great job, and I'm looking forward to a great season from him.
Yeah, game and Ty in the lineup tonight. Just giving a couple guys, making sure you're not leaving them on the bench too long, start the season, get some looks.
Yeah, one day's too many for some of those guys, but yeah, getting them in the lineup and getting them some action here at Petco. Looking forward to what they got.
Why'd you go with Ty over Castellanos? Is that about Valdez history?
Yeah, a little bit of Valdez history. I think he's had 28 at-bats against him, so just going off of that and trying to find places for guys to play and where they can have the most success. And Ty said, yeah, I faced that guy a ton of times. Last year was the first time he hadn't faced him, I think is what he said. So familiarity is always good in this game.
Ty obviously won a Gold Glove at first base last year. His defensive ability, how much does that play a part in not just why he made the team, but why he gets a start here tonight?
Yeah, I feel really good with him at first base. Probably our best first baseman defensively. Won the Gold Glove last year. Ty's a Major League Baseball player, as is Nick Castellanos and the rest of the guys we have on the team. So we use Ty starting tonight, and Casty will get his chance too at some point. We saw him in probably the biggest spot in the game from our vantage point yesterday, hitting with the bases loaded. So, more opportunities for him for that. We've got a good team. We've got a lot of good players.
There's number 35 patches on the jerseys for Randy Jones. Very cool to see those. What was your relationship with him like?
Yeah, Randy, man, I miss that guy. I miss having him here. It'd really be fun to have him here with me being the manager right now. He was always felt comfortable coming over and talking to me and just talking baseball and talking pitching and talking how easy it was for him to throw 85 and get everybody else out. And he's like, yeah, you just need to toss it in there, So the tribute yesterday was great for Randy. He deserves it. And I just wish he was here, as we all do. What a Padres legend, and, sympathy to his family and all that kind of stuff. But he's in our hearts. He'll be on our jerseys all year long, which will be pretty sweet.
What is the most important thing that Campusano had to do to earn the trust of the pitching staff?
I think he's had the trust of the pitching staff already. And I think this spring training was just an even more of an iteration of that. And him feeling more comfortable, like we pretty much gave him the backup job. There wasn't a ton of competition for him, and gave him that runway to be the guy. And I think him feeling comfortable enough to create those relationships with the pitchers proved dividends as spring training went on.
Greg, being a former pitcher yourself, how do you feel managing one of the, if not the best, bullpen in the league?
Feels good. It's pretty easy at times, Feel good about bringing any one of those guys in. Even yesterday in the game that we were, not in favor on the scoreboard, all those guys came in and did a great job. Finished up 6 innings, only 2 runs. Just speaks to the depth that we have in the bullpen and how good we're going to be in that regard throughout the year.
So typically, one would say that you used your non-high leverage arms in that situation, but do you have any non-high leverage arms? Everybody seems like they can handle that situation.
Yeah, I love all our bullpen guys. I'm not going to call any of them guys non-leverage arms. They could all pitch in the 8th inning in a tight game at any point in the season. I feel really good about that. Yesterday was more evidence of that.